Let me introduce you next speaker. Uh, Her name is Shreya Ghodawat, and she is a sustainability and climate activist. She is a global youth leader in sustainability and the climate activist. She's also a vegan, and then she's serving as the Indian ambassador for Project Dandelion and the Plant-Based Treaty. See, what we try to bring is balance of everything to this conference, not just commercialization, whatever balance is outlined. So Shashank covered few aspects, so on and so forth. And so she's engaged with global change makers to drive the awareness and actions towards a more ethical and environmental friendly, conscious future. Shreya is also building JAP, Jains for Ahimsa in Philanthropy, India's first Jain-led giving circle focused on ending animal suffering. So with that, let's give a big round of applause for Shreya Ghodawat, who is creating her own mark in the industry. She's got a podcasting of her own in Mumbai, very independent woman entrepreneur. And Shreya, guide us for the next 15 minutes. You can take this.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy I'm going before Dad gets here, so I don't have him to follow. But I want to start by saying this. As soon as anyone hears the word sustainability or sees the word sustainability, सबसे पहले लोगों के दिमाग में आता है कि ये foreign term है, कोई लंदन के lab में create किया होगा, are we in New York? Why are we talking about sustainability in India? Because that's the first question that I was asked कि ये India के लिए नहीं है. We have so many problems that India needs to solve. Why do we need to care about sustainability? इतने सारे issues है. Why care about this? And I just want to say कि sustainability was born here way before that word even existed. We talk about disposable culture, but जब पुराने ज़माने में कपड़े खराब होते थे, तो I think even कपड़ों के pouches बनाए जाते थे. When you talk about biodegradable packaging, we used to have banana leaves. We still have banana leaves. The West is bringing that back. जो भी चीज़ें were invented here that we grew up with, when the West markets it and repackages it as something that is innovative, something that is cool, we buy into that. Haldi doodh, बचपन से हल्दी दूध पीते थे. Out of nowhere, Starbucks has golden milk latte and turmeric latte. And then, we want to buy into that. We've had yoga forever and that became hot yoga. We've had makhana forever, that became fox nuts, and suddenly that became cool. The reason millets made a comeback now is because the West adopted it. Why do we not have any value for what comes from our culture, but the second it goes into the West and the US or Europe makes it cool, then we realize the value of that. Our diet was always very millet heavy. When we talk about superfoods, our diet always used to have millets back in the day because बहुत कम पानी से, बहुत कम soil से millets उगाए जाते थे. The British used to think that that was a poor man's diet. So the British looked down upon what we used to eat, which is why we started growing cash crops. And now millets are making a comeback. So when I talk about sustainability, I always have to remind people that no, it's in our blood, but somehow, somewhere down the line, हमको ये सिखाया गया कि West को copy करने से हम cool हो जाते हैं. तो progress, plastic, convenience, somehow that became cool. So my journeys for so long has been to try to tell people that we forgot who we used to be. We just lost our way. And that's, been a big part about sustainability. It's not that it's nice to have ESG reporting karna ya regulations aayenge, policy aayenge. It's market, it's business operational risk. It's reducing your business operational risk. It's a necessity. The way I look at it is, think about sustainability as saving cost. You could look at it as something, that won't disrupt your supply chain. But the truth of the matter is, it's how we're going to progress. The question that every entrepreneur in this room should not be asking that, how do I grow the fastest? The question you should be asking is, what value can I add? What value does my business add? How do I change the world with it? What is the cost of my growth? What is the cost of the resources that I'm using? What is the cost on the supply chain? What is the cost on human resources? What is the cost on animals? And that's how I got into sustainability. I was studying sociology of food, and my professor told me that, humans एक ऐसे mammals है जो दूसरी species से दूध निकाल के दूध पीते हैं. It does not exist in the animal kingdom. You're not going to see a puppy drink milk from a cat. You don't see a giraffe drink milk from, a goat. We're the only ones who do that. So I was like, okay, wait, that's so interesting. So I read up on it. Jaake, I watched a lot of documentaries and I did that, and it's true that humans are the only mammals who drink milk from another species. It's the biggest marketing scam that's ever been told to us. So I read up on it, I looked at the dairy industry, I went around India, I have filmed in over 80 goshalas, so I looked at what happens, in milk production. And I was like, that's it, this does not make sense anymore. Not just from an ethical point of view, but to produce 1 liter of milk, 1 liter of dairy milk, we use about 600 liters of water. To produce 1 liter of soy milk or coconut milk, it's about 40 liters or 30 liters. So imagine अगर आप मशीन को 600 यूनिट ऑयल डाल रहे हो और 1 किलो का आपको आउटपुट आ रहा है, it does not make sense. 80% of soy that is grown today in the world, 80 to 85% जो soy का production होता है, जो farming हम करते हैं, वो animals को खिलाने के लिए करते हैं. 18% calories आते हैं उससे. Imagine if that 80% of land was cleared to make food for human beings, we would solve world hunger. So when I looked at these numbers, I was like, हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? Food systems don't make sense. Our energy systems are not making sense. The way we use animals today is not making sense. So that's how veganism tied into my sustainability journey, and that's why I do what I do here, because it is about going back to our roots. It's not about copying the West. It's literally about remembering who we used to be. So that's how I think my journey started, and that's what the future is looking at. So आप कोई भी industry देख लो, if you look at the material industry now, I'm so excited by what's happening in the material industry, because slowly, I think everybody is realizing that you can't hide the backstory anymore. Did you see the egg scandal recently? Eggos का जो egg scandal आया था, Trustified, like when they did the egg scandal. A lot of this is happening with Amul dairy products. People are lab testing it. So now we're finding out the truth. The best part about social media now is that you can't hide anymore. You can't hide your back processes. Same with leather. I think people are realizing कि कितने सालों से हम लोग ये normalize किया है कि 3 महीने का बच्चा होता है, गाय का बच्चा जो leather होता है, it's calf leather. So it's a 3-month-old baby, and we rip the skin away from that and we make leather for our car seats, for our sofas, for our bags, for our handbags, for our belts. It's going to be obsolete. At some point, we're going to realize that we were the most barbaric creatures. And अगर किसी ने पढ़ा Homo sapiens, Sapiens जो book है, sorry, not Homo sapiens, Homo deus was after that. If you've read Sapiens, Sapiens में एक chapter about animal agriculture. Please read that. We will realize, I think 10, 20 years from now, that what we're doing to the animals today was the most barbaric thing ever. अगर हम World War II को condemn करते हैं, अगर पहले के ज़माने को the way slavery used to happen, the way we used to condemn that, we will condemn the way we treat animals today. So when I look at the leather industry, I'm like, it's going to be a fact that everybody will know that the amount of hinsa that's in leather, the amount of cruelty that's in leather, and people say कि नहीं byproduct होता है, meat industry से आता है. It's not a byproduct. $600 billion की industry, it's not a byproduct. So when we're breeding animals and when we're raising animals for leather, that industry is going to be obsolete. So material में जो innovation हो रहा है, that's coming, people are making leather out of pineapple, out of mushroom, out of bacteria, then growing leather in lab. That's where the material industry is headed. That is sustainability. When you're talking about the food industry, protein's not going to come from animal sources anymore. I have seen protein, again, being made in lab, but also we have, Indian food is so diverse, the amount of protein sources that are in our diet, but also, yes, it is going to come from cultivated meat. It is going to come from lab-grown meat. It's going to come from, millet milk, for example. I was telling you about the milk earlier. So there are all these innovations that are happening in different sources. The question is not who's going to lead this shift and when this shift is going to happen. The question is who in this room is going to cater to that future? Who in this room is, going to build that future? It's not just enough anymore for you to think about growth. As I said, you need to think about value, but you also need to lead with that value. So I think my ask for everyone in this room is, when you look at a business, when you're building a product, when you're doing when you're putting something out there, ask this question: will I be able to tell my child about this? Is this something I'm going to be proud of when I tell my child about this? Is this business future-proof? Is this helping anyone or is this harming anyone? What is my supply chain? What does that look like? Is it exploiting anyone? What am I creating and what am I building? Because the next generation of founders are not going to be the loudest ones. They're going to be the most responsible, most ethical ones. And that's the future, that I root for. So that's been my journey, and I've learned a lot because जब sustainability पढ़ते हैं तो काफ़ी numbers people throw a lot of numbers your way. ESG है, climate panels है, greenhouse gas emissions है, carbon tax है, ये है, and it didn't make sense when you look at the data. But आपको जब system समझ में नहीं आते कि हम क्यों करते हैं, आज जो करते हैं, why do we do it? So those numbers didn't make sense to me anymore. Which is why मैं कभी भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाती थी, क्लाइमेट कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाती थी, and अभी भी ये सेम चीज़ होती है. सबसे पहले मेन्यू में दे सर्व बीफ. बीफ इज़ द नंबर वन थिंग. कॉप आप यूनाइटेड नेशंस के क्लाइमेट कॉन्फ्रेंस में चले जाओ, यू गो टू एनी ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट कॉन्फ्रेंस, दे ऑलवेज सर्व बीफ. एंड बीफ, एज यू नो, इज़ द मोस्ट has the highest carbon footprint in terms of everything that we eat. So the way you look at it, a quote it's by Paul McCartney. And serving beef at a climate conference is like a cancer hospital selling cigarettes. That's what it's like. That's what we're doing today. So it makes zero sense the way we run systems. So when I saw that, what is missing in sustainability is not fossil fuels, it's not energy, it's not EVs, but no one is talking about food systems. हम दिन में से 3 बार खाते हैं. If we're not addressing the way we eat today, and if we're not shifting to more plant-based diets, it doesn't matter how much we fly, it doesn't matter how many EVs we use, it doesn't matter how much solar energy you're using, because we'll solve 80% of climate change if we just shifted to more plant-based food systems. And no one was talking about it. Because जब sustainability की बात होती है, it's very easy to say कि ठीक है, let's blame the fossil fuel industry. Because you don't have to make a personal change. If someone is just telling you, switch to an EV, it feels like, ठीक है, you're just shifting from one thing to the other. But if I'm telling you, you need to eat differently 3 times a day, it's a personal change that you're making on a personal level. That's why people don't talk about it. So I have those conversations on my podcast, I have those conversations on my Instagram, and they're difficult conversations to have. I understand that. But if we have to survive, if we have to keep this world intact the way it does, not just for our health, but sustainability का मतलब ये नहीं कि ठीक है सिर्फ environment के लिए कर रहे हैं. We're all interconnected. The animals, nature, humans, we're all interconnected. You can't leave one out of the other. So that's been my journey, and that's the conclusion I have come to, that for me, animal rights is human rights, and that is environmental rights, and that's how we all survive. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to take any questions whatsoever, whether that's in my sustainability journey and future trends that are coming up, how I look at business, and why I do what I do.
So, Shreya, well covered. I think we'll take 2 questions from the audience. I have a number of questions. I think there is somebody in the back. And a good question, of course, gets a good award. So, पीछे देखो कोई तो भी एक, उनको माइक देना.
Not from me, I hope.
Huh?
Do they get an award from me? No.
Sorry. So, Shreya, when we get him the mic, I just wanted to ask you, because you come from a business family, right? And so what influenced you in shaping up the way you think about the vegan, about the sustainability, and about the environment? What influenced you the most?
So I grew up in Kolhapur,
Yeah.
and Kolhapur में हर साल आप monsoon के time पे floods होते थे. I had to cross a bridge to go to my school. From my house to my school, there was a Krishna Nadi के ऊपर एक bridge था. हर साल वो bridge was underwater during monsoon, and it was because of the floods. Every time. And I didn't know that was climate change. कि मुझे पता नहीं था extreme weather events क्यों होते हैं. In my head, I was like, okay, it just happens हर साल monsoon होता है, floods होते हैं, heat waves आते हैं summer में. It's just, how we live. I didn't know that was climate change. But my brother's 9 years older than me, so my brother was studying in a hostel. So my recluse, मेरा pastime था books पढ़ना. So the more I read, the more I understood, the more of an activist I became at home. कि सबको पता था कि ये सब पे चिल्लाएगी, कोई प्लास्टिक फेंकेगा तो ये चिल्लाएगी, कोई कोई चीज़ फेंक देगा तो ये उसके ऊपर चिल्लाएगी. So people knew I was kind of becoming the activist. But it was only after I moved to Singapore and I was studying sociology कि सारे जो social injustice movements है वो जब एक साथ आते हैं, the root cause is the same. You solve for one problem, you solve for all social injustices. आप feminism की बात कर लो, आप gender rights की बात कर लो, आप animal rights की बात कर लो. If you understand the cause of oppression, we solve all social injustices. So I think I just leaned into that activism कि I want to do philanthropy or I want to do social work. That's the purpose of my life. So it didn't matter that I came from a business family.
This example had a big, huge influence.
I think
floods.
it's where the seed was planted कि this is not normal. The fact that we just accept कि floods होते हैं, heat waves होते हैं, droughts होते हैं, poverty है, hunger है, we just accept it as facts. But why does it exist and how do we solve for it?
Yeah, so just like you, I come from the fossil industry, and we have a number of initiatives. We make now green hydrogen, we make blue hydrogen, because everything we do, the parts is related to the CO2 emissions, they make a hole in the ozone. So अपने अभी गर्मी इतनी आती है ना, that's because of the pollution we create, and we make the hole in the ozone. And as she said correctly, the food we eat has one of the biggest impact more than the fossil fuels. So in your view, what are three practical things that we can do in India that are possible to do, practical things to help the environment and the sustainability?
I think the number one thing I tell everyone is we need to go back to remembering who we used to be as a country, as a heritage, as a culture. पुराने ज़माने में जो भी करते थे आज, as I said, the West is making it cool, तो यहाँ पे come back हो रहा है. If we just remembered who we were, हम लोग natural dyes use करते थे, हम लोग सब्जी मंडी कभी भी जाते थे, reusable bags लेके जाते थे, cloth bags. We have mochis, we had raddi walas, we had dabba walas, we had all of this culture. That is circular economy. That is sustainability. So we don't think about that, but we have a rich, rich heritage in sustainability, from our Ayurveda to our medicine, our medical practices, to how we used to grow our food. All that was sustainable. So if we just remove colonization out of it, if we remove whatever we learned from the British rule and just go back to who we used to be as a country before that, I think that's where there's a lot of room for innovation. By just remembering our roots. So that is number one. The second thing I tell everyone again is, as much as you can, learn about the dairy industry. सबको लगता है dairy में हिंसा नहीं है, dairy vegetarian है. As I said, I've been to over 80 gaushalas. I have filmed it. Please look at how they treat the cows. Please look at, they're artificially inseminated. Cows do not give milk because they're machines. Cows give milk because they're mothers like any other mother. Cows have to be pregnant. Cows have to be lactating. To get constant output of milk, the cows are impregnated over and over again. Their lifespan is 20 years, they're killed at 8 years old. Understand what happens in the dairy industry. Learn about where your food comes from. I'm not saying this out of a whim. I have done my research. I've spent years. I come from a Jain family. So before making any switch, before deciding that I'm no longer going to use this, I had to be sure about the choices that I was making. I had to be able to answer them. तो मैंने रिसर्च किया है. एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री है नेटफ्लिक्स पे, एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री है यूट्यूब पे. इट्स अबाउट एन आवर एंड हाफ लॉन्ग. वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री का नाम है माँ का दूध. इट्स इन हिंदी एंड इट्स इन इंग्लिश. आई वुड रिकमेंड एवरीबडी टू वॉच इट. इट ओपन योर आईज अबाउट वेयर योर फूड इज कमिंग फ्रॉम. एंड वंस यू सी दैट, आई प्रॉमिस यू नो लॉन्गर वॉन्ट टू हैव एनीथिंग टू डू विद इट. सो just know where it's coming from. And that's why I made the switch. I don't use leather, I don't wear silk, I don't wear wool. I basically don't have anything that comes from an animal, because to me that's true Jainism, that's true Ahimsa. Like, I will not touch anything that comes from an animal.
No, very good principle. I'm very, very proud of what you're doing. And we do our part as well, helping the sustainability in the environment. I want to take the question from the back. Does he have a mic? Say your name and what is the question?
Yeah, hello. My name is Shibam Makwan. My question is does turning into vegan is the only option for all of us to save the environment?
To me it was, because to me my sustainability journey was incomplete without addressing the biggest impact. As I told you, you can look at veganism from an ethical point of view. कि ठीक है, I don't take anything that comes from an animal for ethical reasons. But the reason my journey started was for sustainability and environmental reasons. You can feed a chicken 9 calories in terms of grain, and it gives you 1 calorie output. That food system is inefficient. That food system does not work, where you can just have plants directly. So my goal has always been understand how the animal agriculture industry works, the amount of land, the amount of water, the amount of methane emissions, the amount of water consumption, everything that we're putting in animal agriculture. If we use that to grow plants, and if even the whole world were to go vegetarian, I promise you we would solve climate change and world hunger. And those are facts. We would solve poverty, we would solve world hunger, and we would solve climate change. So sustainability without veganism is incomplete.
Okay.
Is there any other question? I think we'll take one more. We're tight on time. I see a hand raised on this side. Can we give him the mic?
My name is Nayan, and I want to ask a question like, what kind of startup you would like to support in order to achieve sustainability?
I think anything that's in the material innovation space, I think there's a lot of room for that. But also, we live in a world now where I love seeing waste as a raw material. A lot of startups are looking at reimagining waste. Can we look at the waste that we produce in construction industry, or waste that we're producing in textile industry, and how do we use that to create new outcomes? So I think that's very exciting because globally we're 8 billion people. पॉपुलेशन 8 बिलियन है हम 100 बिलियन क्लोथ्स पॉपुलेशन 8 बिलियन है हम 100 बिलियन कपड़े बनाते हैं हर साल एंड एवरी सेकंड there's a garbage truck worth of textiles that gets thrown into landfill. That's a huge amount of textile waste. How can you reimagine clothing? How can you reimagine supply chain? Circularity, renting, rewearing, reusing. I think there's a lot of work to be done in waste recycling in India, but also material innovation.
Anybody else?
Hello, Chik.
Yeah, hi. My name is Jimit. Hi, Shreya. My question is basically, see, India is one of the top beef exporters in the world.
Beef exporters?
In the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, I mean, what actions or what plans you can give to the government which will have an alternative, source of income? Because ultimately what it comes down is कि इकोनॉमी पे अफेक्ट होगा, सेल्स पे अफेक्ट होगा, कहीं ना कहीं वो अफेक्ट होगा. एक ये है. एंड सेकेंड, बाय रेजिंग सच काइंड ऑफ कंसर्न्स, क्या नए इंडस्ट्री फॉर्म हुए हैं जिसके वजह से in the future what you are planning, say you go vegan, that industry is growing. So which are the other industries which are coming up in these lines, We would like to know about that. Since you are actively involved in that,
Yeah.
so सिर्फ vegan ही सुनाई देता है, बाकी कुछ जो अच्छा चल रहा है, or it is just started, if you can just throw some light on that, it would be helpful for us.
Thank you for bringing that up because not a lot of people know this, that India is the third largest exporter of beef and leather in the world. So wo beef aata kahan se? It comes from the dairy industry. That's what I was saying. And a lot of people will say कि गाय को मारना ये country में legal नहीं है, but it is legal in a lot of states. That's what I said. Once the cow stops producing milk, जब 8 साल के बाद she can no longer get pregnant, she is sent to the slaughterhouse. That's where the beef comes from. That's why I said if you understand the supply chain कि दूध कहाँ से आ रहा है, मेल जब बच्चा होता है डेयरी इंडस्ट्री में, मेल बच्चा is unprofitable or unproductive because the male cows don't produce milk. So what happens to that? The male calf is either starved to death or sold to slaughterhouse for veal. जो बेबी काफ का मीट आता है, so it's sold for veal or it's sold for leather. That's where the soft leather comes from. And once the cow stops producing milk, again same thing, the cow is sent to the slaughterhouse or starved to death. That's why a lot of cows you see on the road. But there is killing of cows and buffaloes that happens in this country no matter what, and it's in crores. That's why India is one of the largest producers of beef and leather in the world. The supply chain comes from the dairy industry. So when we're talking about this, सबसे पहले the question you asked was economy. I don't think we can use economy to justify everything because that way war is a profitable business. There's a lot of money involved in, there are a lot of people who profit off wars continuing because there's sale of weapons. We can't justify economy just based on what is not good for us, what is not good for the planet, just saying, but पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? We're burning ourselves to the ground. There are alternative industries to everything. As I said, if we were to focus on the rich history that we have in terms of Ayurveda, in terms of superfood, in terms of even the amount of plant milk production that we can do in this country, the raw resources that we have for coconut milk, for soy milk, for millet milk, for almond milk, we're a self-sustainable economy, and that's the most beautiful part. हम लोग को लगता है sustainable luxury है, दुनिया को लगता है कि India is the solution. They look to us. So there's so much that we have in terms of materials and resources that we can export or that we can provide to the rest of the world, that it doesn't have to be limited to beef and leather. They will be outdated industries the more we dig into it.
Yes, yes. She's here for the rest of the day, so you can catch up with Shreya Godawat. Shreya, we're very pleased and touched by the new topic and the thinking that you brought to our entrepreneurs today on the sustainability, on how we can make it, how we can fix our climate, how can we change our habits that impacts these two key things. Was very, very enlightening session altogether, a lot of people would make think about it. So we want to thank you sincerely.
Thank you
and
so
would
much.
like very
I know
well.
they're difficult conversations, but they're conversations that are important
No,
to
I
have. So
mean,
thank you.
to me, no conversation is difficult unless you bring it up. Nobody knows. So it's good to bring up. It's good to have different ideologies. And to go to the same place, you have many ways to get there. We call it Anekantvad. And so these are the good, healthy discussions. And I believe in the more of the discussions, the more results and more outcomes. So this is really fantastic.